So this is actually a fun one from Pena. He said, kind of off topic, but I wish the player base could get the feeling regarding passion behind WoW, akin to watching Corey Barlog. Barlog, yeah.
Barlog, yeah.
Oh, Balrogs.
That's a different thing.
That's a different thing. Record his reaction to the Metacritic God of War score. Yeah, I think it's just that thing where, like, look, the WoW dev team is pretty siloed off. That's the way Blizzard do stuff. They come out at BlizzCon. They are the big hotshot rockstar devs with all the crowd giving them the applause, and they kind of go back into their hole afterwards. Yeah, I would love to see more of that. Normally when we hear a developer talk, it is a streamer interviewing them about the problems the game has got and the developer defending their philosophies. More recently, in the case of Salute and Preach, while both streamers have interesting facial animations. And that is not the best way to see that Morgan Day and Ian Hazukosis are passionate about the game.
Yeah, when they're trying to be logical and defend it.
Yeah.
Whenever they're kind of, I don't want to say under attack, but the questions are largely, how are you going to make this game better?
Yeah, it's like
here's feedback on systems, as opposed to like, there's no, it feels kind of unfair to draw the comparison, but it's like, people have been talking a lot of, like, recently, obviously because of FF. It's like Yoshi P to hang out with players, doing like savage raids with them in pugs, and like has a stream where he's just drinking wine, baking cookies, and playing the game.
Yeah,
it's like that's the kind of stuff that's really humanizing. Kind of shows, that's
what Jeff Kaplan was able to do.
Yeah, like people love Jeff over in Overwatch as well for all the time he was there. Just be like, oh yeah, this guy loves the shit out of this game.
It's gonna be fascinating to see what Jeff does next.
Yeah, so you just need it's kind of weird because I don't know if Ian really has a personality that suits that. At least in all the ways we've seen him, he's.
And I should say, at least from my perspective, I would count myself as being closer to Ian in personality, in that I am I was going to say antisocial. That's not the word. What is it? Actually, I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert,
yes.
And the idea of that shit completely fucking scares me. I am not really the guy. It's funny, I'm an introvert, and this is the job that I do. It's like a bit odd how it works out that way, but actually loads of YouTubers are big introverts. They're introverts who like know how to talk and present and kind of enjoy hanging out in that way. But so it's a weird thing, but not to just sort of go make it about me, but it's like, yeah, it's important to know that a developer not being able to do a Yoshi P or Jeff Kaplan routine is like not really an indictment of them not being passionate or anything. It's just like different strokes for different folks, and maybe there's somebody in the WoW team who would really be excited to do that. Maybe they're the person to do that.
Yeah, it's just that case of bring some of that energy we know you have to us, and then maybe there'll be a bit of reciprocation instead of us having to imagine that it's there.
Yeah,
but never seeing it.
But I guess what's tricky then is, it only really makes sense to do that for somebody who's very senior to the point where they have stock options in the company. Because if you're just, average mid-level dev, but you are a natural presenter, you are going to come and bring that thunder. Yeah, you'll do those extra things for passion. They'll probably get you promoted, but it's like, hey, do you want to open yourself up to all this extra risk and, probably harassment and bullshit that you're going to get just because you're public? It's like, that's got to come with a pay bump, because that's a big bit of extra work.
Either that or do it as a group thing. Like have a big Blizzard are going to be, they're going to play, I suppose it's weird because if the game's not in like a super, what do you call it? If the game's not in a super good place, the energy that like the players bring won't be super good, which is one of the massive problems.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you could have like, the WoW team are going to hop into a battleground against each other, and they're all going to be streaming it or whatever else, and then you've got strong moderation on whatever chat, and it's kind of run like almost like a kind of proper public event, but it's a little bit more relaxed. All the people are relaxed instead of, they're not under blaring studio lights. They've got a decent light. They're kind of chilling. Something that would probably be the thing that people would want to see. Yeah. It would just need to have the most heavily moderated chats of all time. Because
it's a lot easier to do the Yoshi P social routine whenever your game is been going from strength to strength and the community health is extremely strong. Far harder to do that when, it's like the difference between being a comedian going up to a warmed up crowd versus being a comedian and kind of having to play for a crowd that doesn't really like your type of comedy that much, and you know, you feel like you're coming out of left field or whatever.
Yeah,
it'd be
hard. It would be a little bit like Bill Burr trying to play like some sort of feminist gathering.
Right. Yeah, he does the sort of...
Bill Burr is very, very much the kind of provocative comedian in a way that kind of crowd, especially one who's gathered for a specific reason, would very much be like, would not like him or his type of comedy at all, even though he's very, very good at his craft. Very good at his craft, which is kind of exactly what, you know, it would mirror exactly like in trying to talk to, you know, a bunch of people who are super hyper engaged in World of Warcraft. Yeah. Because most of them be like, all right, so where's the ripcord in?
Yeah. And we got Mike the Philly Casual did say, used to struggle between love for the game, hate for ActiBliz. Now I don't enjoy the content. All that's left is malcontent with a morally, ethically, and creatively bankrupt entity. Ouch, I don't think Mike's buying Call of Duty 2021 then.
Put that on our t-shirt, like.
Yeah. I guess that's the thing with these big corps, you know?
Yeah.
That's why perhaps EA are trying so hard to fix up their image these days.
Yeah, like.
I mean, they're doing it by making banging content.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like all of the problems everyone has with like all of the problems of corporations and corporatism and even elements of capitalism just completely go away whenever all of their needs and wants are completely sated happily.
Yeah. And I think also, like, you know, Andrew Wilson doesn't seem to do as many controversial things as Bobby Kotick.
Yeah.
And that's a major part of the PR here, where, you know, Bobby is just, I mean, he's just such a money goblin.
That's the appearance of it. It's so like
some of his stuff just feels like a bit conniving and a bit like it is hyper optimal to close these 800 jobs, blah blah blah. Whereas for whatever reason it is in EA, you know, it's not. Even though Andrew Wilson totally looks like another sort of, evil caricature, to the point where in Mirror's Edge Catalyst, the main villain of that game is literally modeled after the CEO of EA, which is very funny. It's tricky, man. I think what that means is Activision Blizzard needs to do a better job of managing their image and keeping their people happy. That's what they need to do. Seems hard, given, you know, Bobby Kotick, he took that big pay cut, but his bonus was $160 million in total compensation.
Yeah, it's I love to like peer into an alternate universe where Jim Sterling didn't exist, and like, or maybe not didn't exist, but didn't popularize all of that Bobby Kotick used as, you know, because I mean, how much of the gaming industry has watched Jim's videos and seen the liberal use of Bobby Kotick as, you know, the greedy money man laughing in the face of consumer despair. So I'd love to peer into that alternate universe and see like does Bobby still have all of those problems, or was that like the source of it all? Was that the source of the meme of Bobby Kotick? I'd love to see.
Yeah, me too. It's interesting stuff.